What if I told you there's an AI that can research stocks, analyze markets, write reports, and even act like a mini Bloomberg Terminal? And no, it's not ChatGPT, it's called Perplexity Computer, built on top of Perplexity AI. And after testing it deeply, I realized something crazy. It's not just a chatbot, it's a new kind of operating system. But here's the twist, it's also misunderstood. So in this video, I'm breaking down how it actually works, technically, why it feels so powerful, and the hidden limitations nobody talks about. Let's be real. Most AI tools today, you ask a question, you get an answer, and that's it. But what if instead of answering, AI could actually do the work for you? That's the idea behind Perplexity Computer. Instead of, here's your answer, it's, let me figure this out step by step and execute it. And that changes everything. Here's the simplest way to understand it. Perplexity Computer is basically brain, AI model, researcher, real-time search, worker, tools plus execution, thinker, loops until task is done, all working together. This is what's called an AI agent system. Similar ideas exist in tools like AutoGPT and LangChain. But Perplexity made it fast, usable, and consumer-ready. Let's go deeper. When you type something like, analyze Tesla stock versus Ford, here's what happens behind the scenes. Nuts. Step 1. Intent. Parsing. The AI breaks your request into meaning. Compare companies, fetch financials, analyze trends. It's not reading words, it's building a task map. Step 2. Task planning. Agent brain. Now it creates a plan. Get stock data. Pull earnings reports. Find recent news. Compare metrics. Generate insights. This is where it starts to feel like you hired an analyst. Step 3. Tool selection. Now it decides, what tools do I need? It might search the web, call APIs, run code. It literally outputs instructions like, search for Tesla earnings 2025. This is where Perplexity destroys most AI tools. It doesn't rely only on training data. It uses something called Retrieval-Augmented Generation, RAG. Here's how it works. Searches the internet in real time, pulls relevant articles, breaks them into chunks, ranks them by relevance, feeds them into the AI, so instead of guessing, it's reading before answering. That's why responses feel up-to-date, accurate, confident. Now here's the real secret. Perplexity doesn't just do this once, it loops. Think, act, observe, refine over and over, until the task is complete. This is similar to something called the React framework, and this loop is why it feels like it's thinking. But technically, it's just structured iteration. Still, insanely powerful. Another thing most people miss. Perplexity isn't using just one AI. It can switch between GPT models, Claude other models, depending on speed, cost, complexity. So behind one simple interface, there's a full AI stack making decisions. Now you understand why it's called Perplexity Computer. Because it's not just answering, it's planning, executing, using tools, iterating. That's closer to an operating system than a chatbot, but here's the part, no one tells you it's not magic. It can hallucinate, it can misinterpret data, it depends on sources. It's not truly autonomous, and most importantly, it doesn't have true real-time institutional data, which is why tools like a Bloomberg Terminal still dominate finance. But despite that, this is the future. We're moving from apps you use to agents that work for you. Instead of opening 10 tools, you'll just say, do this, and AI handles the rest. So here's the real question. If AI can now think, search, act, and improve its own answers, what happens when it gets just 10% better? Because at that point, you're not using software anymore. Software is using itself.